We begin with the hottest topics on our feeds right now.
And today there really is just that one big hot topic
Yes.
because it is the start of that special session. On the agenda is funding Oregon's transportation system.
So let's quickly go over how we got here. That's what everybody's asking. And what's on the table right now? The current proposal from Governor Tina Kotek would raise taxes and fees at the DMV to prevent layoffs at the Oregon Department of Transportation and help fix Oregon's roads and bridges. Now, it's a slimmer version of the original bill that failed in the regular session with smaller increases.
The governor's transportation advisor says current funding shortfalls could result in fewer snowplows, slower response times, and poorer road quality. A public hearing and a work session on the bill set to start at 2 o'clock this afternoon. But this morning here on ArcPDX, we were talking to lawmakers from both sides of the aisle. At 7 o'clock, we talked with Republican leader Christine Drazan. But joining us now is Democratic Representative Susan McLain. She is co-chair of the Joint Committee on Transportation Reinvestment. Senator McLain, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Glad to be here.
First question, lawmakers obviously failed to reach an agreement on transportation funding during the regular session. How do you expect things to go this time around, and how long do you think this is going to last?
Well, first of all, the special session is set up here to last as long as we need it to last to get our work done. And so that's why we're here starting early, bright and early this morning. And as far as it not passing during the regular session, that's true. But we've been working for 2 solid months to build on the work that we did during the session. The session had a bipartisan group of folks that were working together. There were many things that we worked on and agreed on. There is much of that in the special session bill, which basically is just a budget bill that basically is going to fill out the budget for the current budget in 25 and 26.
You mentioned bipartisan. That one always catches me.
Coordination.
You actually, yeah, I don't know what to call it. You always work together. You try to work together, but Republican leaders are holding a press conference 10 o'clock this morning to present their alternative proposal. That's what we're told. Does that make any difference to the Democrats? Are you going to be swayed by that, whatever they have to say?
Well, first of all, they've had 3 or 4 alternative plans. And so I think it's important to remember that the work that we've done has 3 years worth of backing and support from around the state of Oregon. We had 13 stops, 13 tours, 13 public hearings, and a lot of what is in the bill in front of us today is really the result of that. We have accountability in there that is dealing with making sure that our ODOT agency is working at the top of their game. We have had severe review of the budget to make sure that we have reinvested and that we are looking at things that matter to folks, which is emergency care and making sure that we can take care of winter weather or wildfire issues. And also it is truly trying to make sure that we are being realistic about the cost of living, and we're making sure that everyone has an opportunity to be part of the paying system that helps us keep all of our transportation multimodal service in good repair, as well as offering public transit.
You know, we have heard of at least one Republican who may vote yes, Cyrus Javadi of Tillamook. Do you expect any others to vote yes for the Democrats' proposal? Any other Republicans? Have you heard from any of them?
Well, quite frankly, I've worked with 3 to 8 folks from the other side of the aisle quite regularly. And as far as are they going to vote yes, I think they're waiting for the work session and to hear a little bit more about the details that we've been putting out there for the last 2 months with this package from the governor's office.
Well, what about Democratic Senator Mark Meek? He publicly came out against the transportation bill in early June, was removed from the Transportation Committee. What is he saying? You have to talk to him about this stuff, right? What is he saying about the vote this time around?
So first of all, one of the rules, number one, is you don't speak for someone else, especially on camera, right? And so it's important for you to ask him that question. At this time, I'm feeling very encouraged about both the Senate and the House and the folks that are going to be voting with us over this next 3 to 6 days.
So do you really think Democrats will have the votes to pass a transportation funding bill even without any Republican votes?
So right now, that is always the question, what is the count? And I'm feeling, as I've said, very encouraged about the count today.
You think just decreasing the amount of taxes and fees, that's going to do it? Is that enough? Because people still are saying, we don't even want that much. The people of Oregon overwhelmingly are saying, we don't want to pay more. Do you think this is going to be enough? Or are you just going to do it anyway because you think that's necessary?
Well, first of all, I may not agree with your assumption that everyone is against this particular package or any package that's going to improve and work on keeping our transportation system safe and usable by all types of multimodal users. And as far as I'm concerned, the size of the package does make a difference. And this particular package is very modest in the fact that different users will be paying different prices, whether they're EVs or we're going to be updating and modernizing the weight mile, which means that it's going to be more simplified, easier to pay and understand. And instead of having 78 different levels of payment, there will only be 10 that are being committed to by a certain date. And so we're doing it because this is the best way for us to provide services for the Oregonians around the state in both rural and urban areas. I have letters in my inbox from this weekend as well as throughout the last 2.5 weeks that are from rural and urban areas that are very much in favor of this particular special bill that we've put in front of us today.
So I really have to hold you to account for this, because we have done polls and we've talked to people where 90% of the people are saying we don't want to pay more for this. What needs to be done is that the state, the legislature, the Oregon Department of Transportation needs to spend money more wisely. You don't think that's the case?
Well, first of all, there's $55 million worth of efficiency in this 25-26 budget because we have really looked at core services and made sure that that is what we're funding as we go forward. There also have been cuts in the budget for particular areas that we feel are not as vital to the different rural and communities. And as far as your polls, remember that you said, is it a yes or a no? Are you for this or against this? And what we're discovering as soon as they find out that 50% of what's coming out of this package is going to go to counties and cities, to their roads and to different paths of transportation that are closer to their schools and their businesses, that many of those folks have turned to say, yes, we really need that right now because I've got a pothole right in front of my house. It's important for us to realize that they have to have enough data and enough facts to understand what they're being asked.
So it comes down to, for a lot of people, not the amount of dollars, but what they're going to have done, right? That's what you're really trying to tell everybody, is that even though this is less in the way of dollars and cents, it's more about the services that we have to find a way to keep.
Absolutely. The services are essential, and they're emergency, they're winter weather, and they're also keeping up good maintenance of our facilities so they will last longer and we get more out of them.
What do you expect, if you expect anything, to hear from the public hearing? We had a public hearing earlier in the week. There's going to be another public hearing this afternoon. What are you thinking people are going to tell you?
So there are a lot of folks that are coming. We had over 100 people that didn't get to testify on Monday, so we know we're expecting a large crowd again today. And I expect to hear everything from A to Z. There are folks that really want us to work on transit. There are folks that really want us to work on maintenance. There are folks that really want us to work on safety. We want to work on all of those because that will help make, again, our system more complete and make it go into the future in a much better condition.
Now, we've heard accusations from the other side of the aisle that at the last public hearing, the people who run the meeting were kind of cherry picking, hand picking the people who were testifying. What do you think about that? Did you hear about that? Have you talked to people about that?
Well, I was there and I didn't hear that comment made at all, but I will tell you that we do pick folks that come more than 100 miles away. We try to get them in as first or as close as possible. And we also try to go back and forth between folks that are supposed to be in favor and folks that are supposed to be against, so that we can balance out the conversation. So I honestly haven't heard that, and nobody has made that comment to me.
All right, fair enough. Last question. how long is this going to take? You're working overtime. Are you going to rush this through, or are you going to take your time?
So thank you very much. We've put in 2 extra months of working diligently with the leadership and with our governor's office to make this the very best possible conclusion to the end of this discussion. And, it could take anywhere from, basically 3 days to 6 days. And we have to make sure we have time for both the House and for the Senate to do their work. Today, we start out with presenting the bills and getting the committee set up officially and getting the work done by the clerk's office. And as you pointed out earlier in your show, we will be having that testimony and that public hearing at 2 o'clock this afternoon. They have to sign up online on OLIS, so make sure that you get online, anywhere after probably 11:45 to sign up if you want to come and let us know what you're thinking about the transportation package.
All right, good to know. It's still time to sign up and let you know what we think. I'm sure everybody's going to be doing that. Representative McLain, thank you so much. A lot of good information from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck today.